Women become most sexually receptive when you do this, but most men never realize it. Most men have a fundamental misunderstanding when it comes to female sexuality. They think it revolves solely around mood, emotions, or some magical sense of romantic connection. They wait endlessly, hoping that the woman will somehow feel like it. They read her behavior, look for signs, and often misinterpret silence as rejection. But the truth, raw and unfiltered, is something entirely different. A woman's sexual receptivity isn't random, it's biologically timed. It's not always connected to love, emotional closeness, or even logical attraction. It's about internal shifts that she might not even consciously register. Her mind may be indifferent, but her body can suddenly say, "Take me now." And these are not moments you can predict through conversation or connection. They're windows, small but powerful. And if you miss them, the moment is gone, possibly forever. She won't explain it. In fact, she probably doesn't even fully know it, but her biology does. Miss the moment, and you risk being relegated to the just friend zone indefinitely. But high step men, those with true social and emotional mastery, don't sit and wait for signs. They don't hesitate. They don't overanalyze. They know when that hidden window opens. They act decisively, not desperately. They read the environment, observe her cues, and strike at the right moment with precise, calm energy. These are the 7 hidden sexual triggers that unlock a woman's deepest receptivity, those rare moments when her body says yes, long before her mind tries to catch up. 1. When you stay unmoved during her emotional storm. When a woman is emotional, crying, venting, overthinking, or even lashing out, most men try to fix it. They react, comfort, panic, or pull away. But what she's really looking for isn't sympathy or resolution. It's containment. A man who can remain composed, emotionally still and centered during her chaos becomes incredibly arousing to her nervous system. Why? Because her arousal isn't tied to excitement, it's connected to surrender. And surrender only happens in the presence of calm, dominant stillness. When she spirals and you don't flinch, when you maintain slow speech, minimal blinking, an unshakable presence, her nervous system submits. It's not kindness that turns her on. It's the feeling of emotional safety without emotional dependence. That's when her body relaxes, opens, and responds on a primal level. 2, when she tries to test you and you don't react, women constantly test men, though not always consciously. They tease, contradicted, act disinterested, or throw sarcastic remarks, not to hurt you, but to provoke something. They want to see if you'll react emotionally. If you become flustered, defensive, or overly sweet, she loses interest instantly. But when you don't flinch, when you smirk instead of explain yourself, when you hold your emotional ground instead of justifying, it flips a deep switch in her psyche. That moment right after she tries to throw you off and you remain completely unbothered is when she becomes her most sexually open. Because in that instant, you prove something very rare. You are not emotionally led. You lead emotions. And once she knows you won't be shaken, she wants to be shaken. By the very presence, she couldn't move emotionally. 3, when she closes the physical distance without any clear reason, you're mid-conversation, you're relaxed, you're not chasing, not leaning in. Then she steps closer, just slightly. No practical reason, just proximity. That moment is not casual, it's not politeness, it's not even comfort, it's instinct. Evolution has programmed women to reduce distance when they desire intimacy. But here's the catch. They only do it when the man is not chasing. If your attention is grounded, if your body is still and your presence isn't seeking approval, she feels a pull and her body responds. She bridges the gap. That's her subconscious giving you a green light. But here's the trick. Don't lean in. Don't compliment, don't talk about it. Let her make the move, and you control what happens next. 4. When you hit the brakes right before she expects more. Most men escalate. If she laughs, touches, flirts, they move faster, they lean in, they go for the kiss, they press for more. But the opposite creates desire. If you're close and she's warming up, laughing, lingering, looking into your eyes, and you suddenly slow things down, her attraction spikes. If you soften your voice, deepen your eye contact, and pull back just slightly, it creates a delicious uncertainty. That pause builds tension, and tension is the seed of desire. It's not about friction, it's about pacing. And when you control the pace, she becomes emotionally suspended in the moment, uncertain but excited. And that anticipation, that sweet ache of what might happen, is what makes her want it even more. 5. When she sees you command a room and you ignore her, one of the oldest, most primal female arousal triggers is status, leadership, presence, influence. When you enter a space and speak with confidence, when others pay attention, follow your lead, and you still don't seek her attention, it drives her wild. Why? Because you're demonstrating value without needing her validation. And when you ignore her just enough to create uncertainty, not rejection, her brain gets curious, obsessed. She'll seek re-entry into your tension space, and once she succeeds, her energy becomes charged, more sexual, more open, because now she's not responding to interest, she's responding to lack of certainty. That's where obsession breeds. 6. When you smell like sex, not perfume. This one's wildly underestimated. Most men drown themselves in cologne, but nature doesn't respond to artificial scents. It responds to pheromones. A clean, masculine post-workout scent, a mix of natural sweat and raw testosterone, can be more effective than any fragrance. When she catches a faint scent of unfiltered masculinity, her body reacts before her mind does. It's primal, it's subconscious, it's animal. She might act composed, but internally her instincts are screaming. This is a man who's been sexually active and has options. You don't need designer labels or loud scents. Just be slightly unpolished and real. That's what makes her body say yes before her mouth even speaks. 7. When you emotionally charge her, then leave this is the master key, the one most men never think of. After you've had a deep, emotionally charged interaction, whether it was a shared laugh, a vulnerable moment, a serious debate, leave. Not rudely, calmly, with presence. Why? Because when you withdraw after emotional activation, her brain loops the experience. It replays, it revisits. And without your presence to conclude the moment, it intensifies. This is the dopamine pullback effect. She's still feeling the charge. Her body is buzzing, but you're not there to close the loop. So what happens? She starts to fantasize. She imagines what could have happened. She touches herself. She becomes receptive because you let the moment grow inside her, not outside. This is how obsession starts. Not from overexposure, but from scarcity mixed with emotional stimulation. If you're tired of chasing, hoping, waiting for the right moment, then stop. Master the timing, learn the subconscious triggers, and become the kind of man who women respond to instinctively without needing to be convinced. Subscribe to Joama, where we decode female desire and help you build lasting attraction, not just fleeting interest.